Look, you could say whatever you want. This Pacers season, I'm sure they think maybe it's a failure. Maybe they think there's a lot to grow on, things to build on. I think it was a hell of a season for a team that maybe didn't have those expectations. What can we expect off-season wise? Are they planning on adding, subtracting, what?
The Pacers' biggest responsibility this summer, their biggest priority, is bringing back Pascal Siakam. And he averaged 21.3 points a game, almost 8 rebounds a game, led the Pacers in both stats once he got to the team in the 40-plus games that he played. The heavy lifting on the Pascal Siakam front has been done on both sides. Pascal Siakam, the Raptors, couldn't agree to an extension. He gets traded, and the Pacers, for their part, give up 3 first-round draft picks to go get him. They didn't just trade those picks to potentially just have a crack at keeping him. They understand it's a maximum level contract commitment that you're going to have with Pascal Siakam. That's what they're preparing to offer him this summer, and he wants to be there. There's mutual interest in getting a deal done. So that's their first priority. They're going to keep an open mind with other moves that they could make potentially as well. But I would expect this summer to be a little quiet in Indiana. You got your big move this season. You have Tyrese Halliburton. Obviously, we saw Andrew Nemhard, the steps that he took. They have a couple of young players, Bennedict Mathurin, Ben Shepherd, Obi Toppin. They've got guys that they know that they can build with around the veteran players. So it'll be a lot of internal improvement in Indy. And, of course, bringing back Pascal Siakam.
You love that, Chandler? That's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, what's interesting is you don't give up that much to not re-sign him. So if that's the price, if the price is a max contract, that's what you have to do. And I think he put people on notice this offseason with just the way he can score the ball, the way he uses his size, his versatility. He can hoop. And I think people didn't expect him to be this good. I know he was great in Toronto during those runs, but he took a next step for me this year. He was a great fit with Halliburton, and Shams mentioned it, but Bennedict Mathurin is an absolute stud. So we talked about Jimmy Butler being out for the Heat and Donovan Mitchell being out for the Cavs. This dude was out for the Pacers, and he's just as valuable. He's such a weapon offensively. He can go get you buckets in a multiple different ways. So I do think they have the pieces. Miles Turner's great. TJ McConnell was fantastic all series long, all playoffs long. They didn't miss a beat. When Halliburton went out, they put McConnell in. He was fantastic. And Nembhard, Shams touched on him. Listen, do I think he's a future star? I can't say that yet, but he is an NBA talented player. He's a starting guard in this league. He showed with how big he is, how he can make clutch shots. He's fearless. So they do have the pieces. You look around the landscape of the Eastern Conference, it's going to be tough with everybody fully healthy. The league is just too deep right now to say they're a contender next year. But yeah, I think first things first, you re-sign Siakam. You have your core going forward. And then you have all these pieces like Obi Toppin, like Shepherd, like McConnell, all these role players that just play hard and know their role. And they play in a fun system. Rick Carlisle's offense is fun. Guys want to play that fast pace, shoot a bunch of threes, and they've found the pieces to do that successfully. So hell of a season. Definitely not a disappointment. No one expected the Indiana Pacers to make the Eastern Conference Finals this year. Losing their best player, this was just too tall of a task. But a hell of a season and an unbelievable job.
I mean, and they were competitive. Look, I get it. When it's all said and done, we won't remember this 5 years from now, the context of it all. And it was a sweep, but it wasn't if you were watching it. It actually felt a very competitive way. It's funny that you say Andrew Nembhard, you're not sure whether he's a future star or not. Mike Breen threw it out there, said he's for sure a future star. The fact that you could plug him in with Tyrese Halliburton out and he showed up in the way he did, what would you need to see from him to put him in one of those leap categories?
Just more of it. I think we need to stop putting these expectations on players. Stop calling Anthony Edwards Michael Jordan. Stop calling this kid a future star. Just let him play. Let him grow. Let him blossom. It takes time. He's had a great playoffs. No one knew who he was. I had to look up his contract during the game last night because I'm like, damn, this dude is good. He signed like a 4-year, $8 million deal. So They got him in a bargain. So, I'm assuming they're going to end up ripping that up and extending him or something because you don't want to let this kid hit free agency. But he is a very, very good player, and he shows he belongs. He shows that he is a contributor. He played at the University of Florida, so I was on him. He ended up transferring to Gonzaga. He's always been smart. He's always had a really good IQ, can pass the ball, but now he's kind of developing this offensive game. He's crafty. He didn't even finish last night, but he had a crazy move where he went up and under and absolutely just lost Drew Holiday on a shot fake. He's got game, and I think he is the perfect pair to have with Tyrese Halliburton because he can play the 2 position as well. They can play together. He can be that off guard. But they have a lot. I love Aaron Nesmith. Like, they have so many different players here that you can just plug in and go. No matter who's in, no matter who's available, the Pacers show that they can compete on any given night because they have the right guys that play hard and play the right way. And Andrew NEMBHARD's one of them.